Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. Now, I did a few recordings. I just don't have the time to slice all the different things together, so I'm going to tell you what happened. Um, I really wanted Tyrell, all right, and I also really wanted Oliver. So I was like, why don't I go for Oliver and see if I can get Tyrell? And what happened was I got Chelsea, which is blah, whatever. But I'm also one away from the guarantee summon. Now, miracle runes don't come cheap, and it takes a long time to save up. So, knowing that Easter is about a month away, so the next banner is still going to be a new hero, and the following one will be the new limited hero. I am going to, resist my urges, but you guys can tell me in the comments how good Tyrell is when you get her. Oliver is also really good, so if you can get either of these heroes, congrats. Now, I thought, I was able to play with two new heroes recently, one of them being Jocelyn, finally got her to E3 today. The other one is Ainz, and a lot of people, there was, Ainz had changes, buffs and nerfs. He's been very important in both PvP and PvE. We see him in a lot of teams. Now, I just want to make sure people are building him correctly. And there's more than one way to build him, but I would say in PvE, absolutely, speed is crucial for this guy. I would say it's more important than even having 150 crit rate. I did do a test. I had a previous build on him around 150 crit, and he was at like 2600 speed. And I only did 10 bill on the boss today. But you can see on my second run here, I got to 14.58. And so I'm going to show you the two build very quickly and show you kind of comparison and why you want to build him high speed. And key thing to note here, right? My Ainz is just E0. And this is how useful he is even at E0. Because all you're after, okay, is hasten death on the enemy. And the faster you can cycle his turn, the better. Whenever you're getting resonance this way through each enemy during any of your turn, right? Whenever ally deals damage to the enemy, you can only get one. So your entire team cycling and be able to do that will be really helpful. Exclusive will allow you to start with applying this debuff onto the enemy. Exclusive 2 and 3 are improving his personal damage, right? That's kind of the personal damage part, but all the damage really comes from this in a boss fight, because he's not going to be your primary damage dealer. He's going to do okay damage, but it's going to come from multiplying Marie's damage. So let's get right into it. I'll show maybe last couple of things. Like, as you would imagine, I don't even have full emblem on him. He's not doing a lot of personal damage. It's all about this. But don't get me wrong, if you build him really well, he can do a decent amount of personal damage, but he's E0. He doesn't have that part. Nothing on the arcane gems, right? Nothing too special. Echo, I got his Echo, but again, this Echo increases self damage. We're not gonna get a lot of self damage out of him. Marie's gonna be the one that does that damage there. So, anyways, let's get over here. I'll show you this, and do a quick run through, and then we'll actually go back, put him on his other set of gear, and you can see here. What I've done is turn 1, I make sure he applies the severe wound, but then from there, Jocelyn, right? Jocelyn's actually going to do a decent amount of personal damage. Jocelyn has the second highest attack on the team. Jocelyn's going to get decent piercing all the time. Almost feel like it's better to put boss damage dealer on Jocelyn now I think about it, instead of shield smash. So that's probably a mess up on my part, not putting the right echo on her. So yeah, let's speed through this a little bit so you can get a sense of it. Jocelyn and Ainz both have reduced turn meter, which is great. It's going to deal with the boss mechanic, but it's all about trying to get Ainz to full resonance as soon as possible, right? So now full resonance, and then being able to now apply this debuff onto the boss. And 3000 speed there, right, was really important to be able to cycle it very frequently now. If I can get him to 3,500, that's even better. I just don't want to be moving gear around too much. And of course, because he's attack type, getting a little bit more speed. Like I think my I can't remember. I can probably get him closer to like 32, but that would require E. Like here, I haven't even put a speed aura on him. Like I almost wonder, like, does it make sense to put like a speed aura on this guy? For that extra 80 speed, like, will even be nice, right? Yeah, PvE situation. But anyways, all right, let's speed up the video a little bit so you don't get tired of waiting, and let's just see how quickly the damage ramp up. All right, we're at 10 turns, and we're at 6, 7, right? So if we had exclusive 1, we would be doing even more damage because we can get that resonance buff onto him, that buff on him right away. We had to wait until 3 turns before we started seriously ramping up the damage. Survivability, oh, by the way, Arcane Showcase. So I got that attack down, one that I was talking about. So you can see I have attack down on the enemy because of Beatrix using that particular skill. And boy, does it help with survivability. Without it, I don't think I can survive to turn 20 as easily. Okay, now we're at like 12 bill. There's one more hit. Think one more hit, lucky hit. Okay, so this time we did a little bit 13 bill, but you can see all the damage mostly came from Marie. This was multiplying the damage. I was able to do a little bit better before. Now, let's say, we go back and trying to, build Ainz, trying to get that personal damage in there a little bit. And here Ainz, I'm going to actually put Popper's gear back, so that should automatically switch it over. Right, so now Ainz got his gear back, and this was how I was building Ainz before. And you can see Ainz here, it's not even, it's respectable speed, right? Like the speed difference there was only 350. Now we got, 150% crit to fully take advantage of his kit. But because he's slower, and we'll do the one last attack here, just so you can see the difference, and we'll speed through it. He's not going to be able to apply that. He's not going to get that debuff onto the enemy before turn 3. Now he's going to take a 4th turn before he's able to apply that debuff, right? And purely because the fact that he's just that little bit slower, that's going to make all the difference in the world in terms of making sure that, that debuff stays on the enemy for majority of the turns versus not being there. Right, so now finally at turn 4, we can see we got that debuff onto the enemy. And by the way, Jocelyn, you can see the hunter buff there. So Jocelyn doesn't have to be very fast. Jocelyn can actually be built with quite a bit of damage, because really is when your allies are taking turns. So here, Ainz being really fast means, Jocelyn's also proccing quickly as well. Almost like, he's really just a speedy support. Don't build him for personal damage because his personal damage just can't compare. And surely we'll see here that where that personal damage lands a little bit. So here we're turn 11. We're only at 5 bill, right? And I think this time around, I wonder how far we're going to get. We see that resonance damage there. I mean, there is a tiny little bit of variability depending on, Marie's procs and whatnot. And it should be relatively consistent in my mind. I'm just trying to figure out where the variability in the damage is coming from. So we're doing not bad, right? We're 15 turns in, 16, we're 8. But you can see a lot of the time the enemy here is not recording damage, right? Because we don't see that little wraith button icon there. So we're 17. And you can see we're finally applied that again, but he's not going to be able to take the damage until the last turn. So here, end of this turn, the boss will wipe me out before taking that damage. So you can see we're only at 10 bill versus 13.5 bill or even 14.5 bill there. So hopefully that helps. Just squeezing that 350 speed made all the difference in the world. I do feel like there are some key breakpoints. I think the key is to get Ainz fast enough so that you're able to cycle the boss where he can always keep the debuff onto the enemy. Not sure what exactly that breakpoint is. I feel like you can go a little bit higher. Maybe 3200 is where you're looking for when you have the Frost Pet. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Gandalf out.